Welcome back, Algebra 1. In this video, we'll be going over solving systems using substitution. So let's go ahead and get into it. So we've got two equations for the first one, and we've got one that says y equals 3x minus 11, the other one that just says y equals 4. So if we're using substitution, what's nice is we already know one of our values. One of our values is 4. That's the value for y. So I'm going to plug that in for y into the first equation. So I'm going to have 4 equals 3x minus 11. And once I've got that set up, I can go ahead and solve using basic moves. So the first basic move I'm going to do is add 11 to both sides because I'm working towards getting x by itself. 4 plus 11 is going to give me 15. So I now have something that reads 15 equals 3x. And then I have 15 equals 3x. So the last basic move I'm going to do is I'm going to divide both sides by 3. 15 divided by 3 is going to be 5. So we get 5 equals x. And now we know our solution. We have a solution that says 5 equals x and 4 equals y. So we can say that as x equals 5, y equals 4. And if we're writing it as an ordered pair, it would be 5, 4. Okay, let's do the next one. So the next one is a little different. It reads 2x minus 3y equals negative 1, and the other equation is y equals x minus 1. So I have one equation that says y equals, I have y by itself. So that means I'm going to take this thing that reads x minus 1 because y is worth x minus 1, and I'm going to substitute it in for y into this first equation. So if I copy down that first equation, 2x minus 3. Oh, and this is where the substitution is going to happen. Instead of writing y, I'm going to write x minus 1. And then I'm going to copy down the rest of that first equation. So if you notice, all I did is replace the y with the x minus 1 in that first equation because y is worth x minus 1. Let's go ahead and solve now. Okay, let's simplify this. So I want to distribute that negative 3. So I have 2x. Negative 3 times x is going to be negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 1 is going to be positive 3 because a negative times a negative is going to give us a positive. Okay. Now I see some like terms that I can combine on the left-hand side. I have 2x minus 3x. Those are like terms, so I'm going to combine them. And I end up with negative 1x. So I have negative 1x plus 3 equals negative 1. Let's keep going. Let's keep using our basic moves. So now I want to get x by itself. I'm going to subtract 3 on both sides of my equation. And I end up with negative 1x equals negative 1 minus 3 is going to give me negative 4. The last thing I want to do is divide both sides by negative 1. And I end up with x equals positive 4 because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. Okay, now that we know one of our variables, we have to find our y because remember, we're not done yet. We need an x and a y. It doesn't matter which equation you plug the x into, but it's going to be really convenient to go ahead and substitute it into that second equation because it already has it in y equals form. So I'm going to write 4 in for x, and 4 minus 1 is 3. So that means that y equals 3. So our solution is x equals 4, y equals 3. And if we're writing it as an ordered pair, that would be 4, 3. Okay, let's go ahead and do the last one. So I notice that the last one has two equations and they're both written in y equals. In the first equation, y is worth negative 5/3 x plus 3. In the second equation, y is worth 1/3 x minus 3. So what we're going to do here is we're going to set our equations equal to each other. So it's going to look like negative 5/3 x plus 3 equals 1/3 x minus 3. Okay, the first thing I want to do is get all of my x's over to one side. I want to start off and I want to add 5/3 x to both sides of my equation. So this is going to reduce to 0 plus 5/3 x. So I end up with 3 equals, now 1/3 x plus 5/3 x. both of these fractions have the same denominator, so we can focus on the numerator. So 1 plus 5 is 6, so I end up with 6 over 3x minus 3. Okay, the other thing I notice is that when I write down that fraction, we can simplify that even more. We know what 6 divided by 3 is. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So I can rewrite this as 3 equals 2x minus 3. Okay, let's go ahead and finish this off. So let's add 3 to both sides. 3 plus 3 is 6 equals 2x. Divide both sides by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3, so I end up with 3 equals x. But we are not done yet because we need to still solve for y. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that into the second equation. Again, it does not matter which one you substituted into because you're going to get the same answer either way. So y equals 1/3 times 3 minus 3. Now, when I'm multiplying a fraction and a whole number, I can rewrite that as 1/3 times 3 over 1 minus 3. Now, since we're multiplying fractions, I can just multiply straight across. So 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 1 is 3. So I end up with 3 over 3 minus 3. 3 divided by 3 is just 1. So I really have an expression that reads y equals 1 minus 3, which means that y equals negative 2. And there's our solution. So our solution is x equals 3, y equals negative 2. And if you're writing it as an ordered pair, it's going to be 3 comma negative 2. Thanks for watching. Feel free to go back and rewatch anything that you need to take notes or ask questions when we're in class.